Good morning, world.
Ho, 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 world.
Guess you're wondering why we're wearing these. Mainly it's for you, John Majunkin, because
right.
you never wanted to see these again.
So we had to bring them out.
So I'm going to cover this, Cedric.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
What's that from?
Name that movie.
I call him BT.
Okay. Do I look like a black Trump?
It's the red tie and the blue suit.
I had no idea. I was just trying to be festive and over the top. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, you're really taking this to another extreme. I said, no, just it worked out that way. I think I'm going to keep it though and wear it to work.
I think he needs to wear it on every Cedric and Brian episode.
I think so. Leave in the comment section.
For the run up to 2024 for Cedric for president.
I like the sound of that. All right, what's on tap today, my friend?
Well, we have two stories today. First, we're going to have to hit on Biden's health with this clip.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, by the way, are you in Oregon?
Now, wouldn't you say that's a damn shame?
That's a damn shame.
This is the leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen, and he doesn't even know his own meme. So we're going to touch on that, and then we wanted to touch on the fate, if you haven't been following, of Kim Potter.
Yes.
She's the officer who shot the young man, and
Dante can't get right.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
All right, stay tuned for those two shows. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. Alright guys, so we wore this just because we didn't do, this is our first year, we didn't do a Christmas episode or trivia.
Yes.
You know, busy time of year. So we wanted to
subscribe to our channel and go back and find those Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
I think they'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I think they're just trivia and stuff too.
Yeah, it's having fun.
But we wanted to wear this, and like I said at the beginning, especially for you, John Majunkin, we found your old comment when we wore these. And for Christmas, what we want to do is we're going to give you a present right here. You ready? So get close to your monitor or your phone. Oh, I hit my head. All right.
Someone actually said that
we should do that.
We should dress up all the time. Like, that is not us. This whole dressing up thing. My goodness, we're just regular guys.
We've got to replay America's favorite chant by our leader right here.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
I cannot get enough of that.
With a leader like that, you better be prepared.
Like Brian says, are you prepared? Do you have enough food, water, and other essentials to get you through tough times? If not, check out My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families just like yours. Right now, you can save 25% off their popular 4-week emergency food kit, which will keep you well fed for 4 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. This food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage, so it will be there when you need it. In fact, you may need it a lot sooner than that.
So don't wait. Go to www.preparewithcedricandbrian.com.
That's www.preparewithcedricandbrian.com.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
It's sad we laugh at that.
I almost feel bad.
I know. I mean, you saw Jill, his wife, Jill's face.
I think she caught it.
I think she did. And what do you do when you're on camera like that, live?
Right.
I mean, she was like a deer in headlights, so she tried to laugh it off, but I can't imagine what was going through her brain while that was going on, because you could see what was going through Biden's brain. Nothing. I mean, look at his expression right there. It's just eyes are closed. Obviously, it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. He said basically the meme that says F Joe Biden, and Joe Biden said it. Anyway.
He's like, yeah, I agree.
Could you, I know. Could you imagine, though, if something like this, if some troll, I'm not calling that guy a troll, but if a troll had Biden or Trump slip up, it would be in the news cycle. It would still be in the news cycle today. I know this is, a week old. It would be going on for all 4 years of his presidency.
I think people are getting tired of it on the left, because it's that subtle jab that things just aren't going well. This man has been president for 12 months now, and no one can really point to anything of worth or value that he's done well. And every time we say that, it's another subtle jab like, yeah, man, things are not going good.
I was listening to, I don't know if it was Ben Shapiro's show, where Biden was asked, about running in 2024. And Biden is now hedging his bets. Yeah. So I don't know if it's him, his handlers, whoever it is, but let's watch this clip really quick.
Plan to run for re-election?
Yes. But look, I'm a great respecter of fate. Fate has intervened in my life many, many times. If I'm in the health I'm in now, if I'm in good health, then, in fact, I would run again.
And if that means a rematch against Donald Trump?
You're trying to tempt me now. Sure. Why would I not run against Donald Trump or even the nominee? That would increase the prospect of running.
And you can see from that, it's not a confident man.
Right. And if you're running for president, even if you're not, you want to instill confidence in the American people. So even if you're lying, you're going to say, yeah, heck yeah, I'm going to run again. There's no doubt. And be bold. And when the guy brought up Trump, he said, especially if Trump is running, I'm definitely going to run again.
That was his giveaway.
Yeah.
He said, wait, what do you say? Now you're tempting me.
But if he's not fit for the job, you got to get to skipping and let someone else take a shot.
Get to skipping?
Get to skipping.
Because we keep it real on this show.
Oh, you don't do that again.
That's why my hat's backwards. So if he doesn't run, or they don't allow him to run, who's going to run? I mean, who's going to... it can't be this person right here.
Wow. In San Francisco.
First, afternoon. So my point is...
How do you define what you hear from...
I appreciate you being here on New Day.
Not everybody landed punches like you did, though. So you don't mean it.
It's called Candidate Mixtape. That was
Hip hop. Cardi B.
okay.
In an hour, Shake Shack. Oh my.
I mean, do you want that cackling in the White House? Besides, her approval rating is in the 20s. I think it's like 27%.
I sent Brian a list. He can put it up here real quick. But there's a list of 17 people that are in charge if Joe Biden can't fulfill his responsibilities. Vice President, the cackler. Speaker of the House. We know who that is.
Nancy.
And I don't know what President Pro Tem of the Senate is. Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Attorney General, Secretary of the Interior, and then Cedric and Brian. I think we're not. I think we could do a good job, though.
Yeah. And, well, what's funny is, because it looks like by most polls that in 2022, the Dems might lose the House and the Senate.
Right.
So if they want Nancy Pelosi to be president, they're going to have to do it, within the next year.
Right.
Boy, would that be a nightmare. Because then what's going to happen, if Joe can't do it, then Kamala would have to do it, because after that, if you have a Republican running the House, then they're not going to allow that.
If Kamala becomes president, we are in trouble.
Dude, we're already in trouble.
We're already in trouble. When we said on the Jim Stroud podcast, how did Kamala get that position? Well, Joe called it out at the very beginning. He said, I need a woman and I need a minority. Kamala fit both bills. The only reason she got that job, and correct me if I'm wrong, do not get mad at me, do not get upset, just very pleasantly say, Cedric, you're wrong, because these are her qualities, bam, bam, bam. She got the job because she's a black woman. That's it. She doesn't have any redeeming qualities. Every other job she's had.
She's not just black, but she's also Indian. So
she's whatever she needs to be to get the job. she'll just fit in.
So they call people like us, even Cedric, believe it or not, in these days and age, they'll call us racist for not liking Kamala Harris. She only got 3% of the Democrats supporting her. Okay, so I guess the Democrats are the racist, which we know they actually are. Right. So what do you guys think? Who are the Democrats going to run in 24?
There's some things that just Biden said. We talked about this earlier, that if Trump or any other president had said, they would have been just hung in effigy. I mean, it was a 2006. He said that you can't go into a 7-Eleven unless you had an accent.
I know, yet he is vice president, half Indian.
Yeah.
He was making fun of Indians with their accents.
And so many flubs, not even just for his physical health, just his mental gaffes that he makes. And everybody just kind of turns a blind eye and says, oh, he's just a cute little grandpa in chief, so we'll let him get away with it. So there was the Indian thing. And then there was the king of all gas when he was talking to Charlemagne the God back in 2020. And he says, if you don't know if you're for me or for Trump,
you ain't black.
You ain't black. We did an episode on that. Poor kids are just as good as
smart as
white kids. He made that gaffe.
As long as you have a D by your name, you can make those gaffes all day long because you got the press. So,
it's a damn shame.
Damn shame.
Oh, my goodness.
I know who can run. Michelle Obama.
Oh, good Lord.
Hey, Hillary ran after Bill.
She's got some guns. I
know.
She's strong.
She might check off another intersection.
No, don't go there.
All right, so before we get to the second part of our video on Kim Potter, remember, get close to your device, whether it's a phone, a computer, or an iPad, and take this out of the screen. All right, so now we're going to talk about something it's just sad all around. Let's play the verdict first.
Okay.
So this is the Kim Potter verdict.
I'm now going to read your verdicts as it will appear in the permanent court records of Hennepin County. In the matter of State of Minnesota versus Kimberly Potter, we, the jury, on the charge of manslaughter in the first degree while committing a misdemeanor, find the defendant guilty. The verdict on count 2 is we, the jury, on the charge of manslaughter in the second degree, culpable negligence, find the defendant guilty.
So let's play the clip of the actual incident that happened.
Okay.
Now, if you're watching this, it's graphic. It's not graphic and like you can't see any blood or anything, but it's disturbing.
Yes.
So if you don't want to watch it, come back in exactly 39 seconds and you can watch us talk here for a minute. So let's roll that.
You're not doing that? No, you just not wrong. No,
Oh, wow. So,
wow.
Cedric's going to talk about it because he sent me a text on this and he said, this all could have been avoided if Daunte Wright didn't try to flee from the police. And he talks about that before. Still shouldn't, young kid, still shouldn't have been shot. Here's what happened right after that video, and it was from her body cam and from the other officer's body cam. And I'm not going to play all of this, but...
I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god!
Kim, sit down.
Oh my god!
I got it.
So obviously, from that footage, unless she's a really good actress, she did not mean to shoot that young man with a gun. Be that as it may, and this is where you can come at me. She did kill somebody, whether it's by accident or not. You have to pay
absolutely
price. And I know she's an officer, and I know the police officer that watched that. You're in an impossible situation. But if you are charged with carrying a firearm, her training then failed.
Yes.
So if you don't know the difference between a gun and a taser, even at that moment, you needed to be trained better. I'm sorry, because she just took a life.
Exactly. Well, I mean, this kid, along with a lot of the victims from 2020, there is there's some similarities between Daunte Wright and Jacob Blake and the King George Floyd and the grandfather of all this, Michael Brown, the hands up, don't shoot. And it's a word that Brian and I threw around a lot in 2020, and that was the word comply. Daunte Wright was not someone who obeyed the law. I don't know what his upbringing was. We talk about that a lot as far as those kids in the inner cities being raised by single moms, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, and there isn't a male figure in the household. And I know I saw his dad, or the father, on TV after the verdict, and he had his shirt and tie on. What I think they should do now, they're going to come into a lot of money. If they really feel a lot of remorse, they should go to a lot of the victims of Daunte Wright. And that's one thing the media didn't show you. There were victims at the hands of Daunte Wright. There's a young man now who's in a wheelchair. He's paralyzed. He was shot in the head. And he had a long history of that. So I think Dad came around, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. I think Dad smelled the money. And I think, like Brian just said, the media has a way of portraying things to make you see something that really isn't there. So they got Mom and Dad all dressed up. They're sitting before the cameras. They're looking unified, and we just lost our son. Brian and I both have sons. Not together. He's married. Anyway, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Are you sure your son is biracial? Maybe it is mine.
Wow. See, I forgot where I was going. You just completely threw me off with that. But I don't think Dad was around a lot, and we see that we've shared the numbers with you guys numerous times that 75% of black kids are born into fatherless homes, and I think Daunte Wright was one of them. There was no male influence in the household, and he became a stick-up kid. Now, does that mean he should have lost his life? No. Let the punishment fit the crime. Do I think that Kim Potter should have been guilty of murder too? Absolutely. I think she was found guilty of murder one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think both counts for manslaughter.
But
yeah, both manslaughter.
But one means that there was intent. There was intent to go out, pull out a gun, and shoot someone. And like we just said earlier, the acting was above par, if that's what she meant to do.
She got convicted of manslaughter 1 and manslaughter 2.
I think 1 was wrong.
Yeah, I don't think there was intent. So I agree. I think she had to get second degree manslaughter.
Yeah,
because she took somebody's life.
Absolutely.
But yeah, first degree, if that's what it means that she had intent to kill somebody, then I don't agree with that. You lawyers out there can let us know if we're wrong.
And like we were talking about earlier, the media has a way of putting a slant on things. The guy in Minnesota that ran through the Christmas parade, if you looked at the media, they said the car did it. So now we're not dealing with an individual. We're dealing with Herbie the Love Bug or Christine from that horror movie where cars can act independently of themselves and just mow down people. That was intent. That's manslaughter 1. She's going to serve some time. How much? I don't know. We're not going to get the verdict until first week or 2 of January. But she is definitely going to serve some time, which is sad because 29 years on the force, I believe, 29 years. And she was a training officer. So she was in charge of taking new rookies or people who were just new on the force out and showing them what to do. Now, I can only speak for this, playing sports. I mean, there's a difference between practicing and training for a basketball game. If someone makes a cut here, someone makes a cut there, what do you do? Being charged with having a firearm is a totally different ball game. And I always joke, being a teacher for so long, you can only train so much for the active shooter situation in the classroom. You can only train so much for the earthquake drill.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, so repetition in training, right? So that you can do something. And one of the reasons I think she was convicted is because they kept bringing out the piece of paper she was holding. So she was holding it in her right hand. She switched it to her left hand. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, the gun was on one side, the taser was on the other. Right. So if she was making that switch of the paper, and she's trained where if you're supposed to be trained enough, especially as a police officer, to be able to react. So you train enough to where it's muscle memory. Mm-hmm. So if she's saying taser, taser, and it's on her left side, then that should have been muscle memory. So they're definitely, and she was charged with negligent manslaughter. Right. Because that, either she wasn't trained right, or she should have just not been on the force. I don't know.
But being in a simulation is a lot different than being in real life. Because up until that point, they had Daunte Wright, and she reacted, and I'm sure she's done this simulation 100 times. But a simulation is way different than actual real life.
Yeah, I still can't let her off the hook for that. Just because if you're trained for muscle memory, you know. Not only that, but I don't think that a taser looks like a 9mm. I don't think it does. And again, if I'm wrong, send me a comment with pictures of both, and if they look the same, then I'll give into that point. But I don't know. I put myself in, like he said, we both have sons. We both have sons and daughters. If my son, we were lucky. Our sons were pretty good kids. We can't ever expect them to be in that situation. But I did have an oldest, and through the teenage years, there was some struggles, and she got in arguments with police officers. Not to that extent. So I look at myself and said, still, my kid, if they get shot and they're unarmed, I'm going to be pissed off. So I can understand the parents and the depth of loss, and I empathize. To your point, I understand. If he wasn't a criminal, it would have never happened. And I understand. And that's the point that we need to keep making is raise your kids, even if they go through those teenage years where they're, they talk back and everything like that. At least say, look, if you're in a situation where you can get harmed, don't put up a fuss.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I know we're beating that up.
Yeah. But like you said in the very beginning, it's a sad situation.
It's
all
hard.
around.
Yeah, all around. It's one of those no wins.
Parents have lost a son. He lost a life. A decorated police officer has lost her career. It's a sad situation all around. All I can say is comply. All right. We can talk about this till we're blue in the face. Anyway,
right. You guys, what do you guys think? We love your comments. I know this isn't a music video, which you love to comment on.
Yes.
We'll get back to that.
And maybe we'll send you guys some videos from our New Year's Eve party. We're going to do a murder mystery.
Oh, I hope Alec Baldwin's not there.
Alec Baldwin.
It's supposed to be blanks.
Right. If I get shot, I'm yelling racism.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. All right.
Hope you guys. If you're the shooter, it'll go unnoticed.
Wow. It's true. We can have to say it. Make sure you guys subscribe, ring that bell, and share our channel with everyone you know. Please continue being good to each other. And until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian.